Reporting live from Mipers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm John Abba. What is considered appropriate versus inappropriate when hugging someone of the opposite sex while in a relationship? This appears to be the current debate online as many begin to react to the circulation of an embrace between Charlie Kirk's widow Erika Kirk and Vice President J.D. Vance. Now, to kick off her tour in the aftermath of her late husband's shooting, Erika Kirk would host a Turning Point USA event at Ole Miss on Wednesday. Now, just like her husband, Kirk plans to visit several college campuses as a way to further push several talking points. Ironically, many are not discussing those talking points following the first stop, due to a hug between Erika and current Vice President J.D. Vance, who would join her on stage. Now, the hug alone has begun to dominate headlines into Friday, as many are calling it inappropriate, given that J.D. Vance is a married man and a father of 3 with wife Usha Vance. Several users online have now begun sharing their thoughts about it and how it was not the common church hug you would give someone if you're married or in a relationship. For those who don't know, the phrase church hug is used to describe a very non-intimate hug between two, sometimes considered a side hug or where the two people's fronts don't touch.
Married men, to my married men out there, and taken men as well, all right? When you hug another woman that is not your partner, are you doing full body hug? And the hand on the waist? Bruh, the hand on the waist. Are you able to walk back to your partner, to your boo thing, without having your head completely removed from your body? Those photos and that moment was weird. And again, aren't you like hugging them like this? Butt out like this. You're not doing the whole pelvis to pelvis, holding the waist, her hand in the back of your head. I'm telling you right now, you are not going to be alive the next morning.
Usha? That's your man? That's your man right there? You in danger, girl. Let me tell you something. My husband has a lot of female friends. I've met all of them. We're real cool. We're cordial. Don't none of them hug him like that, because it will be a conversation. It will be a snatch and grab. Okay. What is that hand doing right there? What are you doing?
Erika Kirk would be the best first lady option for the next election. Now, am I insinuating anything? No. I'm just documenting my thoughts out loud. I don't understand this until I understood that J.D. Vance's wife is Hindu, not a Christian. She doesn't believe in Christianity. He does. They have an inter-religious marriage. But wouldn't it be the wet dream of sorts for the Christian nationalists and Make America Great Again Christians and regular Christians for Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance to be coupled up?
The hug between Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance was absolutely inappropriate. If you're someone who's in a committed relationship, you do not caress anyone but your partner like that. So would you caress your brother, your dad, your uncle, your stepdad, any family? Would you caress them like that when you gave them a heartwarming hug? Most people would say no. I know there's people out there who would say yes, but there's always going to be freaks. That is a hug that you give someone that you lay in bed with, someone that you're close with.
Usha has a group text, and that group text is on fire. It's her aunties, it's her mom, it's her best friend from college. They knew him. They tried to warn her, row the red flags, and I am not taking any responsibility away from her participation within this madness. Didn't I tell you this hillbilly was going to end up being this way? Didn't I tell you he was suspicious? And for any of you who are receiving a group text based on your relationship and the red flags that your best friend saw, and you are not acting upon it, this is time for you to pay attention to your gut, because I guarantee what he says out loud, he has said in private, and she has felt always.
I had a few questions for the married folk. Which one of you in here are okay with the way this widow is hugging on Usha's husband, the Vice President J.D. Vance? Which one of you think that they are positioning them to run for president and vice president of the United States? Which one of you think it's something more sinister than that?
There is something.
As a professional cheater catcher,
There are some tells here. Okay, one, this hand here on the hip is too familiar. Okay, and it's too low. That's a sex
I'm
cut.
not so
Nobody
hung up
does
on
this.
the hand on the waist.
It's her hand here.
No, I think that this is a little low for a married man with 2 children, okay? And I think his arms...
That's like grab the back of the head kind of hair thing.
Spread out hand here, the low here. I just think it's
the full embrace.
Intimate.
I'm not one to gossip, but there are a lot of people out there saying secret lover.
Now, before the actual hug would take place, some would even take issue with how Kirk would introduce Vance on stage by comparing him to her late husband. Kirk would go on to say, "No one will ever replace my husband, but I do see some similarities of my husband and Vice President J.D. Vance." And she would later add that Vance was an amazing man, followed by greeting him to the stage along with the hug everyone is now talking about. When it came to his time on stage, Vance would add to the conversation by commenting about the religious divide in his home with wife Usha during the event's opening floor segment.
And yes, my wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not in a particularly religious family in either direction. When I met my wife, we were both, I would consider myself an agnostic or an atheist, and that's what I think she would have considered herself as well. Everybody has to come to their own arrangement here. The way that we've come to our arrangement is she's my best friend. We talk to each other about this stuff. We've decided to raise our kids Christian. Our 2 oldest kids who go to school, they go to a Christian school. Our 8-year-old did his first communion about a year ago. That's the way that we have come to our arrangement. You just got to talk to the only advice I can give is you just got to talk to the person God has put you with, and you've got to make those decisions as a family unit. For us, it works out. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, my attitude is you figure this stuff out as a family, trust in God to have a plan, and you try to follow it as best as you can. And that's what I try to do.
This comment from Vance would add to the speculation and conspiracies that there could be more between Vance and Kirk, and that viewers should not be surprised about the future between the two. Now, when it comes to her social pages, Usha Vance has not responded publicly to the moment. It's also unclear how close Usha is with Erika Kirk, as it is on record that she was right by her side following the shooting of Charlie Kirk. So let's talk about it more in the comments below. Was this recent hug between Erika Kirk and J.D. Vance disrespectful to his wife, or are people looking too deep into the matter? Save the day for the latest news in comedy, culture, and sports by subscribing here to our YouTube channel. And if you enjoy content like this, check out hypersclub.com to get a membership to watch full interviews and more original content. And if you have a story that you think we should cover, you can always send us a message now at hypealerts.com. Reporting live from Hypers Club in Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm Janaba.